Hi, my name is Pastor Roger Kistow of the Fourth Angel Loud Cry SDA Ministry, and you are viewing and listening to The Big Picture. We want to discover how God operates, what is His mind on certain things, and we are looking today, as we did last time, on the final fires. You see, fire is normally associated with God's destructive power and a display and demonstration of His character. But not all fires are associated with God. The Bible speaks about three different fires and fires in different contexts. So we see, and this is important in order for us to not only distinguish, but to see actually how the sinner is going to be destroyed. We saw the last time that you can dwell in the eternal burnings of God. Isaiah speaks about that. Those who are righteous, those who would not take bribes and so on, they can actually dwell in the fires of God. So therefore the fires also mean and represents his presence and his character. The righteous will dwell there. We saw that with Moses. Moses saw on the mount fire burning but not consuming, a bush burning but not consuming. When he went up, God himself, even Christ, called him into his presence, and he was not consumed. In Daniel 7, we see a lot of uh, you know narratives about fire. Lucifer himself walked up and down in the stones of fire and wasn't consumed. That was before he fell. So therefore God's presence is represented as fire. So let us compare this now with what Malachi himself says in Malachi chapter 3. He says from verse 2, "Who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness." So I trust that we see the difference, and now we are beginning to see the significance of the consuming fires of God. So this is the comparison. God's fire consumes sin, it purifies. We can stand in that presence. And then there is the fire that burns to stubble. That is the lake of fire. And we saw the last time, and you probably should go back to that last video. We saw the last time in the representation of Abraham when he was given the instruction to kill his son. It represented the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. Then we saw in the book of Levi that the burnt offering, because Abraham was told the Lord himself will provide a burnt offering. So in the burnt offering, when sin was transferred to the innocent victim, he now becoming sin was killed. That is classified in the book of Isaiah 59 as separation from God. Isaiah 59, 1 and 2 says, "Your sins have separated." So God does not have to do us anything. Just separation from God, separation from life brings death. So when the lamb was placed on the altar, with sin now being his experience, because of that separation, because of the lamb innocently taking sin, he was killed, just as Jesus Christ. And then, after his death, the lamb was burnt. This typifies what God will finally do. And we still have to come to the unquenchable fires, which really ties in everything. But the fire that burns by stubble, it is not Jehovah standing over the wicked, having them burn for eons, and the righteous rejoicing. Even if they burn for a certain amount of time, God would have to preserve their life and in a slow way while they are suffering. And that's what the Catholics did, the Roman Catholic Church. Back in the Middle Ages, they studied how to preserve the life of the wicked, as they termed them, and cause them to burn and to burn while writhing in pain, sustaining their life. So when the Lord comes and that act is finished, the wicked will burn. Peter says in 2 Peter 3 and verse 10 The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. This is after the unquenchable fire. And we're going to look at that the next time. So the lake of fire, we are told, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. So the procedure is simple. Fires represents God's presence. The lake of fire, the final extinction, is called the second death of the wicked. But there is an unquenchable fire. This is what determines and judges the wicked. We're going to see that the next time. So God is clear. God does not burn everlastingly. His everlasting burnings, actually, you want to be there in his presence. So until next time, I'm Pastor Roger Kistow of the Fourth Angel Loud Cry SDA Ministry. I want you to like, subscribe, and even put your comments at the bottom of this video. Thank you.